Normally when we head down to the DIFA convention, it's the guys and me. Karen's actually going to go with me.
I'm a good assistant.
We ran into a new company called Van Beek Natural Science.
This is a game changer when it comes to feed for our deer. Yeah.
Here I've got Bruce scored at the competition, second largest typical 2-year-old in North America.
Wow, we're coming back and there's all this change to be met with other change.
I wanted to do something different other than deer farming.
On the heels of that emotional ride, Heather comes to us and lets us know she's leaving. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the creation of the white-tailed deer. May we grow with knowledge to preserve what you have given us as we are in amazement of this animal. May it remind us of your glory and your presence in our lives.
We pray that your Holy Spirit will guide us to be respectful of your creation
as our souls find peace
in the great outdoors. Amen.
ConQuest 200 is brought to you by Key Apparel, makers of Polar King. Rule the elements.
I started out with Bucko, Caesar, Son of the Gun.
Every year, ConQuest Deer Farm travels to the National Deer Farmers Convention to take part in the Antler competition, auction, and to network with other deer farmers in the deer farming industry. This year, the convention is being held in Dallas, Texas. Along with Doug is his better half, Karen Roberts.
We weren't sure all along if Doug would be able to travel due to the issues with his knee, so we didn't book the big booth and the boys going. We went ahead and just did a small booth, didn't make a big commitment, not knowing if we'd have to back out at the last minute. So I went ahead along with him. I haven't been to NADIFA in years, so it really did me good to get back in tune with the deer farming industry nationwide.
Well, welcome to the 2017 NADIFA convention here in Dallas, Texas. Everyone's basically just getting set up and kind of excited. Karen's down here with me, so it's just her and I. I'm excited to talk with some of the doctors and some of the veterinarians on the new medicines, some of the different new products that are coming out for the health of the animals that we have on the farm. So I'm also excited, because we're going to enter, of course, our antlers into the SCI scoring competition. Bruce will be the one that I'm most excited about, but we got Ruler, the White Oak Sun, and then the Hardcore Flame Sun Guardian, just to see how they score. What do they score and where do they match up to the industry? So it's day one. We'll see what happens here at the NADIFA convention.
5 members on the board.
Along with the Antler competition, Doug and Karen Roberts will be attending multiple breakout groups where leading professionals discuss the latest topics and innovations for raising whitetails.
Helped develop a live animal test for CWD.
We ran into a new company called Van Beek Natural Science.
The room was pretty full. I feel almost like the scientist was just talking directly to me, because I just connected right to it.
I just stepped out of deer nutrition, and even though I've been a part of raising whitetails for 24 years now, there's still so much to learn. Talked about the benefits of probiotics. There's new science behind how we feed the deer and the digestibility and the importance of probiotics and enzymes.
So our seeding of alfalfa, clover, and the grasses
It's highly important.
Yep. And Karen really is the one that met them and then introduced me to them.
At Van Beek Natural Science, they believe in using wholesome ingredients, the way nature intended. They've designed their products with the highest quality of essential oils and botanicals that help support a healthy microbiome and strengthen the immune system for peak performance.
If I can implement these products, Van Beek products, into our feed formula, I should get larger bodied deer, healthier deer with better immune systems, larger, healthier fawns, more milk production out of the moms to grow those fawns, and ultimately, I'm going to increase antler growth on all my bucks. And that's what I'm doing this for.
He's at the dairy farm, and the calf, they're trying to feed him.
This is a big deal. What this does, in essence, is it fights off disease that could come our way. Disease could destroy us. It could ruin our future. Wouldn't we do everything we can possible to prevent that from happening? And by sitting in that seminar, this is a game changer when it comes to feed for our deer.
The other big thing that they found was for every mouthful that deer takes in, they get more nutrients out of that product into their system. So what does that mean? They can eat less, they get more out of it. You actually save money by putting this into the product. The potential of this is huge for deer farming and the free-range deer once hunters figure out just how good this stuff is.
We are proud to partner with ConQuest deer farms and producers who seek natural alternatives for peak performance.
Coming up next, the results of the National Antler Competition are in. And later, Doug and Karen come home to unexpected, monumental changes that will affect the future of ConQuest. All this and more on ConQuest 200. This segment was brought to you by Hancharit Chiropractic. We get your back in the game. ConQuest 200 is brought to you by Key Apparel, makers of Polar King. Rule the elements. By ConQuest Scents, makers of Evercom and VS1. By Grizzly Coolers and United Deer Farmers of Michigan. And Armada Grain Company. And by 10 Point Crossbows. Doug and Karen Roberts are at the National Deer Farmers Convention in Dallas, Texas. They've entered Bruce into the antler competition for the largest 2-year-old typical and are now waiting on the results.
2-year-old typical, then we get 2-year-old second place typical Bruce.
Here I've got Bruce, the second largest typical 2-year-old in North America, scored at the competition. My goodness, how can you as a deer farmer not be excited to go home and see how can I improve these and take care of these animals? What's neat is there's a lot of people watching this deer because it's Patrick on the bottom, it's Son of the Gun on the top, which are the two oldest traditional typical lines in the industry. So everyone said if he can get time length, we got a deer.
Yeah.
We definitely got a deer.
Child.
Yep.
God gets the glory of that because we're always praying for his wisdom and his guidance. And, you know, I'm so proud of Doug and his hard work. This was well worth the trip down here. And 2017 Nadifa was a great success. And we get to go home.
We got an airplane to catch and we got a farm to get back to that everything seems to be fine back there, but get with the workers. It'll be good to get home.
We leave Nadifa just boosted and charged with enthusiasm about Van Beek and enhancing the health of our herd, and Bruce did so well there. We're so excited to see where that genetic line is going. So like, wow, you know, we're coming back and there's all this change and growth and future to be met with other change.
Talon has informed Doug and Karen that he'll be leaving Michigan and his position at ConQuest Deer Farm. The news is a huge blow, not just for the farm and scent company, but also the fact that Talon is moving away.
Selfishly, I can say that my emotion behind Talon leaving is intense. Talon's dad passed away when Talon was 12 and was terminally ill for a number of years before he passed away. I have taken the role of mother and father for a number of years.
Hey, I'm sitting here with the buck. His elbow seems really solid now and no infection.
Doug has been an amazing addition to our family and us to him. But it still never changes that internal instinct to protect your child, to answer for your child when you're the only one here to do it, and to let him go, I guess, is my challenge.
Oh, Talon will be absolutely missed on this farm because there was nothing he couldn't do. He moves deer for me better than anybody. So who's going to take his place? Because that still has to happen. This farm still has to function. So selfishly, I'm looking and going, wow, there's going to be this big void here. Wherever he was needed, he could fill in. And you don't find that very often.
Deer farming is my #1 love, but I knew deep down there was something that I wanted to do, and it was something other than deer farming. So when the opportunity came to get up and leave and start a whole new life, I knew that was it. This is a new chapter in my life, and I'm ready for it.
Coming up next, Heather goes turkey hunting with her father.
Come here.
Right here on ConQuest 200.
I did it.
This segment was brought to you by High Rack Ranch of Michigan. This week's tip from the Deer Professor is brought to you by Heat Seeker.
As a deer farmer, one of the greatest expenses that I have is the feeding of the deer, the supplemental feed that we feed. Van Beek Natural Sciences, here's what makes it unique. It is 100% natural products. This is natural oils, this is natural plants. Unlike synthetic properties, synthetic leaves a residue in the deer's system, and only so much of it can be digested and taken in, and a majority of it goes out the back end. With Van Beek Natural Sciences being completely natural oils and natural plants, the highest percentage of intake into the system goes into it, less goes out the back end. Here's how it works. This works on improving the stomach and intestinal tract. In other words, when we have a better stomach and intestinal tract system and it's absorbing more nutrients into our system, it creates a stronger immune system. The stronger the immune system, the more ability we have to fight off different bacteria and things that come into our system, such as coccidia, giardia, EHD. Those things the deer is able to fight off because the immune system is as strong as it can be. Van Beek Natural Science is 100% natural. When you put it into a pelleted formula, the pellets all look natural and they look the same. Smells great. The deer love to eat it. We have our farm on the complete feed, so look for Van Beek.
Talon has made the decision to leave the farm and pursue another career. Without Talon, ConQuest Scents and the deer farm are left with a huge void.
He, not by choice, is a deer farmer, and that's different. Sometimes our kids really didn't have an option. When you grow up on a farm like I did, you're a farmer.
Life now, life's great. I love where I live. I enjoy the people I work with. I love my job. This job is basically on a excavator or skid steer. It's moving all around on different machinery, and I love it. You know, I work a 14-hour day, but I end the day with a smile still on my face.
Sighted in and ready for the morning hunt, Heather Roberts is being guided by her father.
Heather did not have an option but to be somewhat of a hunter or a complete hunter. I being her dad, she was going to go hunting. It didn't matter if it was a girl. And I think a lot of girls get bypassed by their dads that hunt because they are a girl. I look at it and go, I want her to understand and experience the outdoors. But, you know, for her as a little girl, you know, she'd go with me, I mean, heaven, she was 6, 7, 8 years old. She's leaning against me, the Tom's coming from over here. Boom, the gun goes off. Shoots the bird. Of course, we all know that turkeys are flopping around and they're bouncing around. She was ready to blow this thing to smithereens. And once she realized it was dead, she gave me a hug that I've never had before. The most amazing feeling to see the excitement and the adrenaline rush in this little girl, this daughter of mine, that was like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is so awesome. This is the most amazing thing. And she hadn't even gone over and seen the turkey yet. That addicted her to turkey hunting. And so from then on, we went turkey hunting in the spring.
As Talon made this decision to move away, on the heels of that emotional ride, Heather comes to us and lets us know she's leaving.
Coming up next, a boss Tom gets up close and personal with Heather. You don't want to miss it. Right after these messages. ConQuest 200 is brought to you by Key Apparel, makers of Polar King, rule the elements. By ConQuest Scents, makers of Evercalm and VS1. By Van Beek Natural Science, and by Ray C's The Extreme Store. By VersaSkins and Herd Evolution, premium deer feed. For the past 2 days, Doug Roberts has been taking his daughter Heather turkey hunting. With a mid-morning meeting pressing, Doug had to leave Heather to close the deal by herself.
As Talon made this decision to move away, on the heels of that emotional ride, Heather comes to us and lets us know she's leaving.
So I have this desire to further my education. I have an associate's from when I played volleyball at Mott Community College, and I want to get a bachelor's in marketing, and I got another offer to play volleyball again.
When she decided and knew she had to go back to finish her 4-year degree, wasn't sure how she's going to pay for it. I actually talked to Karen first and goes, you know, if I work out really well and I get in good shape, I could try out for volleyball and maybe I could get a scholarship and help pay for it. The worst they're going to do is tell you no. She went to U of M in Dearborn and Madonna, and both of them offered her a position on the team. But U of M Dearborn actually offered her a volleyball scholarship to play for them. Proud parents. Very proud of her for what she did. So I go up, I'm in the meeting, and all of a sudden I get this text, got a bird.
Did it actually like die? You yelled at it like this. I did it. Dad?
What?
I got a bird.
You did?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
That was that next level to her of like, wow, I called, I shot it, I recovered it without my dad being there. I mean, she would have loved me being there, but it took that next level of confidence now in her of, I can do this on my own.
But it was a good wait to have such an awesome experience. Definitely thrilling and nerve-wracking, but it was a awesome 2 days.
Oh, cool! Congratulations!
You know, one shot, one kill?
He right here.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't turn. I was doing fine. There was two that came right in that little corner. Right.
As the saying goes, you must make the choice to take the chance if you want anything in life to change.
You both making a deer farm.
For Talon and Heather, their choices have been blessed, and their time with us at ConQuest Sense has come to an end.
Our kids are on journeys, but I know at the end of that journey, wherever it takes them, they will be successful because they've stepped out and they've taken on challenges. Sure aren't going to be failures. Failure is just strictly not trying, and they're both trying.
Awesome. Beautiful.
I haven't even measured it yet.
From the Bible, Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Years ago, it was the oldest one, Chanel, and this year, it's Talon and Heather. Most powerful thing that I can do for them as a mother is to pray for them and their path to become what they were meant to be.